Hello, and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play show set in the Eberron campaign world. Colin, what happened last time?
Everybody's alive, and so, yeah, we had breakfast, we had conversations, most all of them with living people. Ari talked to Tommel's body, and then we talked to Thora, and in our effort to try to figure out a plan towards Kolsir, we went to investigate the spot of Shade's abduction and found that we need to now go have a conversation with the Moon Spears because there wasn't anything there for us.
That one of our other ideas would be a better lead to go for.
Yeah, it was riveting content. Thank you guys for coming back after that one.
We did, in fact, use 2 charges from the eyeball. On
that's true. Yeah,
empty
we're
location.
halfway done.
Do we need to use 2, or was it just 1? How long does it take?
Well, you switched people. If Ari had gone in,
oh brother,
but you can't. You would not be able to transfer the spell with the item.
I'm so glad about this, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's how UV flashlights work.
Well, okay, all right. I
I'm just giving you a hard
that the metaphor that I created did suggest that it sort of created yeah, okay, all right, 1 charge.
I was so close, y'all. Oh. Okay. Can I say that Pog turned it off and turned it on again?
Pog 4 times.
And I just kept wiggling it on and off. Oh, it's
how does it work? I don't get it. Is it on? Look. Oh no.
Is this thing on? Talking into it. Do your thing.
Okay. So we head off towards the Moon Spears. You cross back through Summerfield and over to the edge of the city near the tents of Rushame. You notice the city is bouncing back relatively quickly. People are in a festive mood again. People are talking about the things that happened. It was not so catastrophic as the earthquake, so everyone's, now it's exciting news. As long as you weren't hurt by it. You are recognized a few times going across the city by people who saw you fighting the Saugan, and you get a little cheer. Someone presses some meat on a stick on you.
It's a weird sentence.
I mean, that's the food that's available here is meat on a stick.
People giving us food is great. This is not an advantage of being known that Shade had anticipated.
People just give you things?
And you arrive in the camps. It's early in the day, as it often is when you visit the Moonspear encampment. And so, as is often the case, you have encountered them at the point of lowest activity during the day. But there are people sitting about, and you see the hut that belongs to Sole and Zenaida. And Zenaida is sitting out in front in the shade of the overhang of the hut, out of the horrifying reality of the sun. And she appears to be she's got a pestle and mortar, and she appears to be grinding something up and occasionally emptying it into a jar.
Hello.
How's Ilya?
It's just, yeah.
She is well. She is relieved that Cal is all right.
We all are.
She is. We were lucky to have her there with us.
His return made quite an impression on her.
Oh, yeah?
There are among our people, most in this part of the peninsula, and thus to the people of Stormreach, all drow, revere Vulkor, the scorpion, as hunter, as cunning, as mother. But our people spread about, revere many creatures, many guardian spirits of the forest. The displacer beast, the wolf, the bear. All of these have followings among the tribes of the Kaltiar. And in some places, in some ways, we believe that these are not just, well, here they are spirits representative of nature that we revere and call upon in our need. Some among us hold that there is a place where these spirits are real, where that our ancestors remembered from when we were taken by the giants from our old home long ago, that once we lived among these spirits, that Vulkor was mother and teacher to us, that the other great spirits were there. Your forest queen has quite entranced Ilya in this way.
She's amazing.
I have no doubt the beings of that world are strange and potent.
Ari standing a little bit back behind
That's
Shade,
true.
just kind of nods, looking in the middle distance.
But the Forest Queen is also kind, and they aren't all.
That is also true. I'm glad to hear this. Anyway, I am glad to see Cal well, and I am glad and surprised to see you on your feet.
Just a gesture. Yep. Yeah, I'm glad to be on my feet too. It was a very weird experience, also involving Faye, but I'm here. So.
Ah, then you were dead.
Very much so, yes. And my patron may have died also, and now I have a new one, and she brought me back. It's, yeah, very complicated. Don't need to get into it all here.
Very well.
We were wondering if members of your tribe or anyone, other tribes that you might have contact with on occasion, venture anywhere near the site of the old obsidian city here on the island.
Ah, I see. We do not go to this place. That place memorializes things that we do not remember well, but that we know were dark things. But that is one reason we do not go. I know that recently the Sulatar have in many places abandoned their dwellings and moved south. We believe they are gathering to the Obsidian City.
I think I recall Hallis Martain mentioning Sulatar Drow when I asked him about the Obsidian City before.
They are traitors. They revere the giants. Hold to their ways, long for their return.
So they'd be allies of Colseer.
If he presented himself all right to them, I suppose they would.
Have we... I'm going to ask this out of character before Ari asks it in character. Have we talked to the Moonspears about Colseer's return and all that business? I can't remember if we
I don't think so.
mentioned that.
Mm-mm.
Well, probably he would have done so since we've had an encounter with him. He's back. Yeah. And gathering. He's rebuilding the Obsidian City is what we just found out yesterday. So
Will Claire protect us? That is terrible news.
yeah, the attack on the city yesterday, the earthquake, it's all been him and his attempts to the earthquake was him trying to get a weapon, I believe, that was buried beneath the city. Not sure what yesterday's attack was, but we're trying to figure out what we can do to try and be more proactive in stymieing his efforts to rebuild and attack.
If he is gathering the Sulatar, then he will be gathering giants as well.
Go talk to
There is a
Lord.
belief among some of the giants that the separations among their people, frost and fire and hill and stone, that these were not the way of it in the days of their dominion. And that it is a result of the terrible magics that unraveled their empire. They look to a day when someone will return to reunite them. If Kulsir has returned, he will be gathering them as well.
Well, Zenaida, if your people were tasked with trying to stop this, what would you do?
We would gather the Kaltiar tribes. We would go to the city. And we would fight. And perhaps die. But we would die free. We will not be slaves again.
Understand that. Well, we know Gornak. They might have heard something regarding the giants. We also need to go talk to the Titans. There's some giants among them, or at least half giants.
Yes.
If you hear anything,
will want to know this as well. Her people are not on friendly terms with those giants who long for a return of the Empire.
Okay.
Well, that's good to know.
If you hear anything about movement in the jungle that seems strange, different, aberrant, let us know. But yeah,
Understood.
We appreciate it, and we're going to do everything we can to stop this from progressing. But there may come a time when we need help.
You will have ours.
Thank you. Well, anything else?
Not from me.
No.
We'll leave
Thank
you to
you.
it.
Okay. Where to, gang?
Tensarushime?
We just
Yeah.
back the way we came with a stop on the way.
All right. You head a little further towards the river and across the bridge. Into the tents. You can see giants and half giants and a few other species moving around. But of course, as you've seen, most of the huts and tents are of enormous scale. Galranak is in the middle of the camp, as she most often is. And seeing you all approach, she turns and walks towards you with the heavy thumping tread of a giant. And then crouches down with her arms resting on her knees to look at you all.
Hello.
Hi.
Greetings.
Did you have anyone harmed in the attack yesterday?
We do not go in for such celebrations.
Fair enough.
It is unwise to invoke that creature.
Fair. While we're on the topic,
I didn't know that.
we were just talking to some members of the Moon Spears and thought it might be wise to come talk to you. I don't know if there's a more delicate way. The attack yesterday and the earthquake previously were Kulsir's doing. He's resurrected and returned and rebuilding the Obsidian City.
Before, when you asked after the Obsidian City, it was this.
Yes. We didn't know at the time, but yes, now we do. Yes.
I see.
In the wake of the earthquake, we went down to investigate, make sure no terrible monsters were going to crawl up, and we came upon him in the flesh. Yep.
And perhaps the end of this place is at hand.
Could you speak to that
We
more?
hope not.
Kulsir will wish to rebuild his dominion. This place was once a part of it.
And how could we prevent that from occurring?
You would, other than by killing him, I do not know. He will not stop.
Suggestions on how to kill him?
He has a body. It can be killed.
Great.
He is strong, of course.
Yes.
He'd be recruiting followers like the drow and giants that wish to see his return, though, correct? Like there'd be an army.
Yes,
to contend
he
with.
will be recruiting from among those susceptible to his teachings.
If you were tasked with slowing it down or stopping it. What approach would you take?
It would depend on whether he could be separated from his army. If he cannot, then his army would have to be dealt with, or drawn away, or distracted somehow.
Do you have much knowledge of the history surrounding his dominion and him as an entity?
We know that his dominion was the last of the great giant realms. We know it was under his dominion that the first elves were taken, and that the elvish cities were made subservient. We know, well, the Drow say that it was the giants who took elves and bound them to the darkness to create the Drow in an experiment. And then there was a revolt. The elvish cities broke away one by one. And when the giants razed the cities to the ground, the elves gathered under their leader Erin and traveled across the sea. We know that then the magic that Kulsir had drawn upon gave way to nightmares entering into this world, and that in his madness, Kulsir unleashed a weapon to stop them, a weapon that destroyed the moon and broke the sky and scarred the continent. And it was after this that the dragons came and shattered the lands.
What do you know, or would you have a guess as to what Kulsir would fear if he heard that something was out there that he would abandon reason to go deal with?
The destruction of his empire was accomplished by the dragons, though they did so by destroying much of this continent and leaving behind the terrible magical curses that still plague this land. He would fear their power. He might fear some of the, some of the old elf heroes, Vidalia, Cardane, that the elves tell stories of still and remember as their ancestors. Other than this, I do not know. Our stories say that by the end he thought himself a god.
Well, any other questions?
No, I'm just scared now.
Yeah.
Way more of that.
I don't know how to find dragons or old elf heroes to fight for us.
True. Goranak, do you have much contact with the Titans? Do you know anything about Red, their new leader that's coming to town?
Not much. We have some of the Titans who are followers of Rushime. They say she is a cunning mind, one who is good for planning. This is... Previously, they had no agenda of their own. They sold themselves for muscle and did well in this way, if you can call it that. But she is different.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, and if we need anything else in our campaign against him, we'll come a calling.
Do.
Thank you.
And if you think of anything else, like
Yeah.
a weak spot or suggestions, we would take those.
He is not immortal.
Great.
Noted. Are there any stories around his ability or capacity to corrupt or alter people, make them more powerful?
Yes, it was said that he could place his mark upon other creatures and imbue some of his own power into them, but that this had in many cases his followers could not handle this and were driven mad.
When you say imbue them with his power, did it weaken him at all to like give them this power, or was it not like that?
I do not know this.
Okay. I wonder if there would be any way to, if he's connected to the mark that he imbues on others, to send something through that connection. I don't know. Thanks for your time, Golrak.
Of course.
Been very helpful.
Yes, always.
As we start to walk away, Ari would turn to Pog and Shade. So that's what he did to Tommel, is put his mark on him, and that gave Tommel his new abilities, and additionally probably did something to his mind. I don't know if that does anything for us, but that's certainly what happened.
So then Tommel in a new body wouldn't have those powers or that control.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't know how the mark works. Were the markings still on his body after he died, Philip, or was it like, I mean, did he still look the
interesting
same?
question.
You could still see his dragon mark and the scarring across his face that had been glowing as if there was light within. The scarring is still there, although it wasn't glowing anymore.
Okay. I mean, here's the thing, Ari says, as we're walking in no particular direction. If we bring him back and he's not still marked and his mind isn't still broken, he's still going to be Ra Miran. Like that's not going to have changed. He was that way before Kolsir got his hands on him. But if we could have access to the information he has in some way, that's the best lead we have. It sucks to say that bringing him back is the best lead we could do, but we're literally grasping at straws.
We could go scout the Obsidian City.
That's
just
a
like
day's
eyes
trek through the
on
jungle, and I will not
the
make
location.
it back.
You'll find someone to make a deal with.
You're right, Shade. Pog. Hateful. You're right. We could go investigate directly, but if there's an army of giants and drow there, I don't know how close we're going to be able to get.
But wouldn't that be good information to know if he has that army formed?
But if we brought Tommel back, that's information we could get without having to go.
Tommel was just there.
He would know that.
I am much more comfortable in a jungle than bringing souls into different bodies. Minds? Beings?
I don't love it.
This just seems like there's a whole lot of questions. And one of those questions are us deciding whether or not somebody gets to come back. That's weird.
But if that person comes back, we get answers to almost all the other questions. Maybe we have to punch on his new body. And
yeah, maybe he doesn't give us answers. Or no.
And we're already making that decision, Shade. We have the capacity to bring him back, so we're making the active decision to not do that. Like, it's not like we're...
Because that's normal. You and Ezri came back because of your choices. Nobody chose that for you.
We tried to choose it for him.
Well, yes.
We tried,
but that's not
very hard to choose it for him.
I would have done it, but I didn't, so it doesn't count. I mean, Ezri's got him on magical ice, so we don't have to make that call right now. But I'm just saying that, like, as it stands right now, that's our best shot at figuring out what's coming next and what he was trying to get.
We kind of do. We can't just sit on, like, we have to decide what to do and move.
Because the other thing is, Tommel knows what he was going after here. And if we could get that thing before Kolsir gets it, that's also a good thing. Right?
I mean, in the same way that us getting the vampire sword was a good thing, because not necessarily.
Yes.
Just a real quick side question. Eric, do your friends know about the vampire sword? What you know about the vampire sword?
She has the vampire sword, by the way. All that stuff we did is pointless. Just filling you in the gaps.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why she went after the Forgotten Prince and he got, and she was there, is because they were finding it and they found it. And Mirabella was there. That was part of the deal, is they're not going to mess with the house anymore. So I guess we did go to sleep before I had a chance to give you all a rundown of everything that happened to me while I was dead. So
yeah, that feels important.
Mm-hmm.
I had just come back from death. I feel like some grace should be afforded.
But you had so much energy coming back. I just woke up.
You joked about it.
I can go talk to dead people. This day got so much worse.
I mean, not than yesterday, but definitely since breakfast together and a peaceful morning.
True. So, yeah, like her champions were there. They found the sword. She has the sword. not ideal, probably. Definitely.
And you work for her, right?
My job is to keep Esri alive, which probably was already going to do that anyway. So,
But now you do it for her.
she is my pact holder. Yes. Listen,
And vampire sword holder. Is
Yes.
that gonna affect you?
no, I don't think so. I don't feel weird. I'm not. I don't have a compulsion to go to an island I've never been to. So
Yet.
I'm good on that front. No. Okay. The
Bad Philip.
the offer on the table when I talked to her was she was going to send me back regardless because I got her the vampire sword. She was happy with me for facilitating that. So, yay. But with the prince gone, all of my... It was a sarcastic yay shade.
Feel better about that.
All of everything that I've been able to do outside of my mark was going to go away. The sword, the ability to fight, the ability to cast the spells I cast, all of it was tied to him. And I figured if I came back as just Ari, that I would be a liability. Because just Ari is just Ari. And so I felt like I needed to make a deal with her to get the same sort of power that I was getting from him in order to be able to fight Kolseer, because I knew that that was the thing that needed to be dealt with. And it sucks, but me just being Ari and being able to talk good to people isn't going to help us stop this guy. And so I made a deal with her so that I could have this and Ari manifest the glaive in his hand, and be able to fight. And I feel different. Some of my abilities have changed, and then Ari dismisses the glaive. So that's my deal now, and her deal. She just wants Esri alive. I've told her, sure, cool. She might come calling, needing something else, but yeah. But that wasn't
There's a
part
chill,
of the arrangement.
ghostly shriek when Ari releases the glaive and it disappears. It's fine.
Oh, God. Of course there is.
But
I'm just kidding.
yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like I really... Me just coming back as me wasn't going to help, so... Now you all are caught up.
You know that's bad thinking, right? You understand that, right?
No, I don't.
Can I get some more specificity on which part is bad thinking? I know it's not great thinking.
It's a list. Well, the one I'm specifically referring to is the fact that you felt the need to make a deal with a person who took a sword that was evil that we worked really, really hard to hide. And you made a deal with them because you didn't think coming back as Ari was enough. There's like some implications that you should probably think about from that. Pog and I are very good at fighting and not good at talking. The talking Ari is an important part of our Ari. Like that's...
Yeah, but also I'm not going to be able to... We're just learning that there's an army of drow and giants out there. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to elucidate to them that they should stop fighting us.
Right, but you think you're the difference between defeating the army of giants and drow and not?
Well, I think I can help. Like the strike force has gone from 4 to 3, and then it would just be at 2 because I can't go fight if I'm just Ari.
But you and Pog, no, we can't fight an army. Like, we're very good at fighting.
Yes, I know.
But the difference between 3 and 2 fighting an army are still bad.
Yes. Yes.
Poetry.
Yes. Eloquence is her skill.
I love this so much. Pog is literally just sitting there like,
I want to be able to help protect the school, protect the kids, help fight alongside you all, protect the city, stop Colseer, etc. And if I came back as just Ari, I'd be a heck of a teacher at the school and not much else. Because I don't have any power in the city to use my good words to actually affect major change. So I would just be some dude who can talk well.
And learn new skills and not have a patron that owns an evil sword. And
do we have time for me to learn new skills though? Like the city's being attacked.
I mean, not right now.
You know what? No, you are being cute
Casey.
right now. You are being cute right now, Shade. You know what I'm talking about.
Take 5 psychic damage, Ari. Hey, I have a question that's not, I mean, obviously, this would be something that would have been noticed by now if it is so. But I'm just curious. When Ari initially was empowered by the Forgotten Prince, his eyes went all smoky black. Is that still the case?
Probably it would have altered a bit. I'm so visually like summoning the glaive, and a lot of Ari's powers in my mind are going to be, Casey, I don't know if this is going to do anything for you, but like the hive in Destiny, like kind of the black with the greenish fringe kind of thing. Like that's kind of the aesthetic. So maybe there's like some green,
I like this,
outlining aspects of Ari's eyes now. But yeah, but still blackness. But yeah, less smoky
Google
gray.
image search.
It does not,
Casey,
and now I'm
really
going to
cool.
need to go look that up. Yeah.
I'm going to give you a couple images in the Discord right now.
Excellent.
That's
Thank you.
cool. I like that. I have to make it a HeroForge, so I'm just gathering some information.
Yeah.
Or you can, I guess. I've already swapped.
Yeah, probably.
weapons, but-
Probably Ari has not looked in a mirror, so Ari doesn't have a clear indication that he looks
that's
a whole
fair.
heck of a lot different. So,
Sorry, I derailed that conversation.
No, you're good.
It suddenly occurred to me.
We could go talk to the Titans. We haven't done that yet, and they have some half giants, like people that might have, relations that know something I don't know. That's another stop, or we could continue down the Tommel train.
Am I crazy, or do we wind up at the end of the Tommel train no matter what we do?
I mean, if we get a decent amount of information, I'm totally fine with leaving the Tommel train dead in the station. Like, I just think that's the easiest. I think the decision will come down to either we trek through the jungle and go physically see what's happening at the Obsidian City, or we have Ezri bring Tommel back, hope that the reincarnation whatever gets rid of the Colseer mark, so that we still are dealing with a radical, but maybe one whose brain isn't quite as goofed up as the dude we killed, Shade killed.
Shade?
Just to clarify, the dude that did attempt to kill me and then kidnapped me, and then I killed in self-defense, running
I said
away.
killed, not murdered. Yeah, you were totally within your right of what you did. Yeah. no ill will. I would have done it. I was trying to do it when, yeah.
I'm just saying that's who we're bringing back. That's who we're going to go back to our home and bring
Yes.
back into our home, that we live as a sanctuary from all of the other people actively trying to
Yes.
ruin our lives.
You could take him somewhere else and do it.
I understand the argument. I understand the speed at which we get information faster if he is willing to cooperate. It is an ugly solution to an ugly problem that we have. And I don't know that we will get everything that we're hoping for.
No, Shade, you are 100% correct. And I feel like I personally was being very flippant and disregarding what precisely he put you through. And what he had tried to do previously, because in the previous altercation, obviously, they were trying to take you away. So if you don't want him to take another breath, if for no other reason than what he did to you, then I'll drop it right now. I'm not saying it's your decision to make, but I'm saying if that's how you feel, then I won't talk about it.
I feel angry. But I don't think my feelings get to determine the next course of action. Tama will have better information than hoping that the Titans might have heard something at some time. So y'all are right. We should do it. That's what we should do. He just should be under lock and key and tied to that table and
100%.
in a position in which he is not going to harm anybody in that building.
If we want to put him on a table next to that creepy bottomless pit in our basement and we could kick it in there as soon as something seems to be going fishy, I'm fine with that. I guess we need to go ask Esri what would be involved in doing that. Because it may not be okay, we've decided it happens. Pog, what's your temperature on this right now? Shade and I have been talking a lot and you've gone quiet.
I've hated it since the first time it got brought up.
Okay.
The only good thing is we could learn stuff quickly and maybe get to kill him again. It's the only good parts.
Here's my thing with the dual choices that we seem to be at right now of scouting versus bringing Tommel back. Even if we go scout, we will see the exterior from a distance. We might know that there's an army there, but if we can, if we bring Tommel back, we might be able to get inside information that we couldn't possibly get from traveling.
We need to figure out how to get
assuming
Mirren.
he tells us the truth.
Yeah. Yes.
Is what we need.
Yes. And even, I mean, we could also use him as bait. Him and Mirren are close. I'm not saying that we do that, but I'm saying that Tommel affords us options, even if we don't have any desire to be around him.
I just want to point out, I can be sneaky. And so if we scouted out the location, it wouldn't have to just be the outside. But
And I can be invisible.
I understand.
We can
also
That
do
is, yeah.
do sneaky.
But I grant you, yes, we could get in. But if anything goes wrong at any given moment, at least one of us is toast.
I just think we only have bad options.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true.
I think the
That's very
conversation with Zenaida was good. That was a positive. Conversation with Golranak was good. We learned some good information on both those fronts. We might be able to continue going down threads with the Titans, and we might think of some other groups that, like the Wayfinders, that might be able to get us more information. But once again, it's going to be all either historical or abstract, which will be good information to have. But will it be as good? I'm not saying this is why we should do it. I'm genuinely asking, like,
I think the concerns with him, other than what we've already talked about, is that Tommel could tell us lies.
Yeah.
And we don't know about his connection to Colseer. So is it possible that if Colseer's mark is still with him, that there's that connection, and then Colseer knows exactly what we know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have an answer to that. We could take him off site. We can take him somewhere else. So at least there's not, if he can ping the location like Thora can, he doesn't lead him to the school. But that also puts
that's probably a good idea.
It's a less controlled environment, but yeah.
Is the old treehouse still standing? That's
I
at
was
least on
just
the edge of
thinking
town.
the same thing.
Great
Were
idea.
you?
The same thing. I was genuinely racking my brain, like, who did we rent that from?
The Swords of Karn.
To go back.
Ari's name is
try
on
to
the
have
list.
Still, it's been a while, my guy.
Ari just likes to go be away from the house.
That's been the love shack. Up until this committed relationship. Got it.
No, just quiet.
All right. What exists in my mind is what's real.
Do we want to go just talk to Ezri and see what would be required to accomplish this, just so we know what we're looking at?
Yes, that is what we should do.
Okay. Back to the house.
Getting in our steps.
You find Ezri in the greenhouse, unsurprisingly, and put to the question, Ezri. Thora talked with me about that option this morning. She had the money, so I have the materials that we would need if we're going to do that.
Well, we were going to go off campus to do it, just in case there's any kind of funny business with his connection with Colseer. So we're going to go to the treehouse. So
Okay.
We should probably run that by Thora.
I'm just
we should
now
do that
thinking,
before.
I'm just thinking, if we take him to the treehouse and let's say something goes horribly awry, that, like, if he's in the basement, I mean, I know that room locks real well. Cannot get out if you get locked in it. So.
Well, you can't.
That's
Do we
at
know,
least
like,
RE proof.
this is the kind of thing where the body will be made while he's putting him in it? Not that there will be a pre-existing body that we can have bound that he will then arrive in?
Correct. The spell will create a body and then call the soul into it. It takes a while. It'll take me like an hour.
See, when you said forming a new body and said it'll take a while, it's like, oh, we'll have a few days. An hour seems like a very short time to accomplish this.
It's way quicker than I can do most things. I don't think I'm as concerned with all of us in a room with him as a newborn dirt person getting away as I am.
Spore.
Okay. As I am
dirt.
with others showing up to where he is. And I'd rather that be at the treehouse where it's the three of us than the school where it's everyone that's
Fair enough.
important.
Okay. Well then, guess we need to transport a body.
Again.
Running to Thora's office. I just think
Thora.
we should just, before we raise people from the dead, she might have a plan of where this was going to happen if she's already talked to Esri about it.
Hey Thora, it's Ari. What's up? Where you at?
Sending the iPhone voice message.
Office.
Cool. OMW.
What you doing?
BRT.
Why are you talking that way?
Lamau.
Quicker.
Are you all right? Are you sure you're all right?
JK.
Is this some lingering after effect?
Is that
TTYL.
vampire sword speak? What's happening right now?
Has he been doing this all day?
No, this is new.
Oh.
I feel like we're going to have some new stuff with him for a little while.
You find Thora in her office.
We have a bad idea.
You were gonna, yeah.
And that's all we have is bad ideas. And not in the normal Strike Force kind of bad idea way.
Do I get to hear it?
We normally have
Yup.
great ideas.
You already did.
Don't think so.
Talking about bringing Tommel back via Esri's new body magic.
He has the materials for that, I made sure.
Yep, thank you for that. Our impulse was to do it off-site, just in case there's any awfulness that happens, it won't affect the school. But
The basement
obviously-
is warded against scrying and teleportation.
well, hot diggity dog. Sounds like we should do it in the basement.
Why do you think I have a room down there to lock people in?
Okay.
That's why your communicator didn't work through those walls.
Sounds like that is a good, secure place to do it. Ari says trying to move past that quickly. Pog, does that assuage your fears? Or nobody can get in, nobody can detect him?
I still hate it, just differently.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, I guess quick lunch and then knock this out.
Fair enough. I'll meet you down there. I have the place set up.
Oh, wow. You have been thinking about this while we've been doing other stuff. Cool.
It's the obvious thing to do.
Okay. Well,
Some of us took a little bit longer to get there.
That's why you didn't do it. I was letting you get there.
Ari's out of the office, going to the kitchen.
Appreciate
that. He anger eats.
Okay.
To the basement.
Anything other than your angry snack?
Nope.
Okay. When you get down there, you find Thora in the room with the bottomless pit. There's a cot, I guess more like a stretcher, that's attached to wires and suspended over the middle of the bottomless pit. And Tommel's body is laying on one side of the said bottomless pit.
Okay.
It's a really good idea, but I'm not going to be able to hit him as much as I'd hope to.
I've used it before.
What?
Throw fire at him. What?
Why?
What?
Who? What?
What?
I don't.
It can't possibly be that surprising that I've suspended someone over a bottomless pit in my desire to get answers from them.
Fair.
Can it not? Because it feels like it can. It feels like it is. And it feels like it will be.
Very well. Once while interrogating an enemy spy, I suspended him over a bottomless pit and threatened to drop him if he did not give me answers.
Did he
But
give
not
you
this
answers?
bottomless pit.
No, not this bottomless pit.
Okay.
Is there like a bottomless pit store? How many of these are there?
I have encountered 2, and I suspect they're not actually bottomless. I just don't know where the bottom goes.
Did you drop him down it? Awesome.
Ezri is there with a whole bunch of supplies.
Oh, good. This is gonna smell weird, I bet.
It does. It already does. It already smells terrible.
And there's a pickling body down here, you guys.
And he begins the process, and it takes an hour, so you're here for a while.
What else are we
And
gonna
over
do?
the course of an hour, you watch as spores under Ezri's control gradually from the inside out construct a huge. It's like you're watching. It's like the opening sequence of Westworld.
It's like the
where
opening
you're
of
watching-
Prometheus, but backwards.
Where you're watching a body be reconstructed a little bit at a time. So it's probably a little off-putting or fascinating, depending on your temperament.
Yes. Little column A, little column B.
Ari is looking at his journal as he writes in it.
Let's see, who wants to roll to find out what Tommel's new body is?
I think the person who killed him should, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's shade.
All right, Casey, I need you to roll a D100.
Let's go.
This is a spell that comes with a random table.
No.
How do I roll a D100 on D&D Beyond? Where am I?
5 D20s.
Well,
The-
no, that doesn't work.
The two,
These
the
are total.
logo that's the 2d10.
Is it the
next to
2? Okay.
Yeah.
31.
You're not gonna believe this. Tomla is going to be reincarnated as a high elf again.
What in the world, dude?
Push.
I mean, if you want to begin
Silvery
this,
barbs.
if you want to begin this with fewer than your total hit points, I will let you push
Hey, I
that
am.
roll just for your amusement, I guess.
No, it's fine.
Okay, that's funny. But Ezri, as he sees it begin to take shape, says, "Oh, good news, Shade. Apparently, you would come back in exactly the same shape as you originally were."
That is good to know.
If I
Well, at
ever
least
needed
it's
to do it.
consistent.
So
Yeah,
does he look the
it-
exact same? Or is he a different height?
Oh, that's a fair.
yeah.
That's a
Does
fair
he present
question.
as a different gender?
The spell does not suggest that you do, so I'm gonna say no. It would still present male. I'm gonna say that the hair is the same very, very pale blonde that Tommel was before all of this.
Okay. That's promising.
The slightly awkward reality is, of course, that the spell does not create clothes.
Yep.
Right, which studiously watching to make sure no marks are being created as this body is forming.
You do see his dragon mark forming as the skin begins to color. As the skin begins to color, you do see Tommel's dragon mark on his skin, in the same as it was before. And then he gasps and sits up and has enough wherewithal to immediately clutch the sides and hold very, very still.
There was a small part of me kind of hoping he just rolled off the side. Well, there goes that idea.
All right, hang on. Let me have another hour. I'll start again. And I think that's where we'll start next time.
Of course
like
it
a
is.
good cliffhanger.
Boy, can't believe it rolled that. It rolled exactly the same species that he already was. That's
wild.
hilarious. And it's delightful because now you all have entirely the wrong idea about reincarnate.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be fine.
It's great. There's no chance I'll turn into a gnome. But also, why don't you want to be a gnome? All the gnomes I've introduced you to are amazing.
A gnome would be easy to throw into the pit, was just my
No,
thinking.
I totally understand why you would want your enemy to come back small.
Logistically, it'd be great.
Yes. Thank you all so much for watching. I really wasn't sure you guys were going to do that.
Really didn't want to, but
Yeah, I'm
I
super upset that we
figured.
did. Honestly.
I knew it was possible because I knew Esri could cast the spell, and so I had a bunch of notes for what if you do, but I wasn't really sure whether you would. Anyway, so this will be fun.
Same.
If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can find links to all of our social media down in the description below. In the comments, let us know. Good idea? Bad idea?
How
Good
bad
idea?
of an idea?
Bad idea. Sure, you can qualify the degree to which it is a good or bad idea.
Just comment.
Down below, you'll also find links to the Geek Pantheon YouTube channel where Eric posts TTRPG content, and to Colin's Twitch where he is sorry BTR. The O is a 0, much like the percentage that this will go wrong somehow. Thank you all so much for watching. New episodes of Khyber Shards come out on Monday. New Khyber Shards Answers on Friday. And until next time, thanks for rolling with us.
boop.